I grew up in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Was born into that church in the mid-1950s, and grew up Mormon. And growing up, of course, you're taught different things, and one of the things that I was taught and believed was that if we were righteous enough and good enough, that we would eventually have everything that our Father in heaven had, which means we could become gods ourselves. Now, this particular belief is not actually canonized within the scriptures of the Mormon Church. However, that belief came out of a statement that Heber J. Grant, one of the apostles of the church, gave during the earlier part of the 20th century, that went as man is, God once was, and as God is, man may become. And so that's what it was based on, and members of the church then figured that meant that in the future they could become gods and have their own planets. If you've seen the play, The Book of Mormon, they make a big deal of, I can have my own planet and all of that. So what truly the LDS belief is in this is actually not completely clear. When there was an interview given to one of the other former prophets, Gordon B. Hinckley, and he was asked that question, and he said, well, that's more of a saying that we have. So that put question to really if that's truly a Mormon doctrine or if that's more of just kind of what they believe. And the idea was that God is a father and he has children, and we will become fathers or mothers, and then we have children, and it's a family unit, and in the eternities that continues, and we continue to have children and create our own worlds and all this. If we're going to become gods or we need to become more God-like. First thing that we always say is God is love, right? He's unconditional love, completely loves us all. Now, obviously, since he created the earth and all things in it, well, I look around. Of course, this is man-made stuff, but all made out of stuff God made, right? So he would have to have a huge degree of creativity and certainly a lot of knowledge. So he's all knowledge, all wisdom, so certainly that would be encouraged that we get as much knowledge and wisdom as we can. But there's another thing that is also said in the scriptures, and that is that my ways are not your ways, saith the Lord, right? That God's ways are not our ways. We're also commanded in the scriptures to be perfect, just like me. And of course, through repentance, all of that, you can do that, right? Also says, come follow me, follow him. It's been said that he's our perfect example of what we should be. So let's talk about personality. First of all, I have some notes here, so I'm looking down every once in a while. So obviously he's super smart, right? So we need to be super smart. And good luck with that. He knows all. So we need to eventually know all. So also he gives us trials and tests. So we need to be willing to give our children trials and tests, right? And like Job, what happened with Job. So there's the 10 Commandments, and one of the 10 Commandments is, of course, worshiping the God and bow down before him. So when you have your children, what you need to do is make sure that your children bow down and worship you. And let's say in the Mormon Church, we believe that we can become as gods, which means that my brother could also become a god. Well, he's jealous of other gods. So if you like my brother, if my kid likes my brother, their uncle, more than they like me, then I'm very jealous. So you need to have jealousy, because God is jealous of the other gods. And so you've got to have your children need to bow down. They need to worship you, prostrate themselves down. But what you really need to do is, as soon as they're born, you need to go somewhere else, disappear, so they never actually physically see you, and work through a mediator. and so that they don't actually see you, because that's one of the ways you'll show their love. They have to have faith in you that way. That's the way you can be the perfect dad. If they don't love you like that, you punish them, and you're going to tell your favorite kids to punish the others. Now let's talk about favorite. Yes, you should have favorites. You should have favorite kids and ones that are not favorite kids, because God has favorites and God has the ones that are not favorites. Tell your kids not to kill, but then what you should do is turn around and say, oh, one of your kids you don't like living down the street who isn't doing what you want, tell one of your favorite kids to go in and kill them and their wife and their children. Have them kill the dog and the cat too, and burn the house down. This is the commandment you make. Go ahead, because if you make that, they should be doing that. And if they don't do that, then you better punish them. Ignore the ones that you don't like, and command things to the ones you like. But give them lots of trials and errors. Make things difficult for them. That's the way they grow, and that's the way you show your love. So you might want to tell your favorite son to go when his kid is maybe a teenager or so. Tell him, hey, tie your kid all up in rope, and I want you to set fire to him and burn him up. And this is a commandment. You've got to really do it. And then later, if your kid actually does it and starts to do it, you go, oh, wait, I was just kidding. I'm just testing you. Things like that. Things like that are a good idea. That's stuff that God would do. You need to have a lot of anger and wrath. If you create a world and you have all these children who you love, but they aren't doing what you like, you need to have a lot of wrath, maybe even a tantrum. Say, okay, I'm just destroying all of it, except for maybe 8 people. The rest, I'm destroying all the animals. I'm destroying everyone else, including the innocent animals, except 2 of everything, and just wipe it all out. You need to have that kind of anger and be able to have that kind of a tantrum if you need to. You also need to make it impossible to actually figure out what you really want, and so that they live by faith, but they really don't know what faith, because it's so confusing. You need to have things that are written down, ancient records and things, but have it completely full of conflict and controversy and conflicting things, so that it makes it hard to understand and figure out. You don't want it to be easy for your kids, right, to get back to you. You love them and want them back, but you kind of don't. You only want a few of them back. The rest of them, of your kids who you love so much, you don't want to be present with. You want them out of your sight. You want them somewhere else for eternity. Some people say in hell somewhere, but maybe just a place that's not with you. You just don't want them with you. You love them that much. And another thing you do need to do is you need to condone slavery, because slavery is condoned in the Bible. And women should be chattel. They should not have rights. They're also basically slaves. You do need to be a racist. That's kind of important. If you look through the scriptures, and God is definitely racist to certain races and so forth. So that's important that you do that. But make sure you love everybody, because He has a perfect, absolute love. I hope I helped you to be able to become more godlike. Bye.